Ethereum emergency update. We're going to focus on the short-term price behavior and what's likely to happen with Ethereum. And probably over the next few days, it's going to be sideways to down. And today we're going to go over the technical reasons of why, but the fundamentals are already baked into the price action. So if you like today's video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let's dive straight into Ethereum. We are on an Ethereum daily chart, and the macro landscape, what's happening at the moment, it looks to be quite corrective. These overlapping waves and overlapping waves. But what we're going to do today is we're going to zoom in and focus on this part of the market and focus on what is likely to be happening over the next few days. So very high level, first of all, if we just zoom in, we want to be aware of the momentum position. So what we have, and let me just draw it like this, is we've got a brand new R15 trend dashboard. This is going to be launching soon, by the way, you're going to have access. But what it tells me is that the weekly trend is bearish. So it's a downtrend. And the daily trend, which is what we're looking at here, because of this is what it's referring to, but I've written it in a way so it interprets it for us. It says it's overbought and the upside should be limited. So what we're going to do today is we're going to drop down to a lower degree time frame and look at if there's any clear pattern, that if it's unfolding a clear pattern, we can see what's very likely to be occurring next. And this will just take you to a whole new level when you're thinking about the markets. And by the way, we've got a couple of more days left on our Cyber Monday. Black Friday is now over. Cyber Monday offer, 50% off my training. And we're going to cover this today. Elliott waves, that's what we're going to really dive deep in today. We're going to use some Fibonacci price, but in the course, it's foundation, intermediate, and advanced. It's 50% off. It's like £98.50, I think it is. And you'll get everything. 5 courses in one. You're going to get the Fibonacci time. No one knows about time. Fibonacci time is so powerful. Entry to exit strategies, crypto trading futures, and also access to my trade plan. So take advantage of it whenever you see the countdown time of whatever's live. Right now, it's 2 days and 17 hours remaining. So take advantage of it. All right, Ethereum. So let's go into an hourly chart. And I just want to really focus on this part of the market, this last movement to the upside. Now, what you want to be really aware of is that the market's moving 5s and 3s. In fact, let's just pop back into the daily chart because sometimes I think, I don't know how clear I make it. I try and make it as clear as I can, but on multiple degrees of wave count. So when we're looking at the macro picture, right? This is from June 2022. Look at the market in terms of 5s and 3s. Sometimes it's not always 5s and 3s, but more often than not, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then a minimum of an A, B, C. Now, it looks like a D and an E. That's more of a complex correction, but that's more often than not. So when we zoom into this part of the market, we're looking for the same buying and selling behavior. It's just more on a microscopic scale. And it's literally the same principles, same ratios, nothing changes other than it's a shorter time frame. So let's just look at this. So question for you, do you see any particular pattern that you can see in terms of 5s and 3s? Well, let me show you what I see, and I think you should be on high alert that we're probably going to see a retracement, a correction, because the trend is down or the upside is limited based on the trend, the momentum. And then when that coincides with pattern and price, which is what we're going to look at now, it's pretty inevitable that you're going to get some type of pullback. That's just more often than not. So let's just draw this out. So it looks like an initial move up, wave 1, wave 2. It looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of a wave 3. It looks like a nice A, B, C of a wave 4. And it looks like we're forming the final parts of a potential wave 5. Right? We want to be on high alert for that. And when you see these corrections, they're pretty clean. This one in particular is really clean. A, B, C. That's quite common for a wave 4. And wave 4s are typically, they come down to a retracement of 38 to 50%. And when we look at this, you'll see it's just pretty much textbook. Right? Textbook wave 4. Wave 4 is a profit-taking wave. It's common. It's relatively predictable. And you can see it's right in that range, right? You can see that over here really, really clearly. So what we're going to do now, just to finish up on, is what is the typical price range that are wave 5 from a buying and selling behavior? Because you've got to remember, it's humans that are buying and selling. And there's crowd psychology at bay. And it just tends to repeat itself time and time and time again. So you want to get used to these principles because it just makes life a lot easier. So let's just now zoom in like this. And let's just set a couple of price targets. I like to put a big question mark as well, because that just reminds me and us that this is not confirmed. because sometimes it just overextends. So you want to be aware of that as well. But we want to just be aware that it's topping out and is more than likely going to top out soon. So what's the typical? Well, one of the most easy, I'm going to do two Fibonacci price retracements. Well, one's a retracement, one's actually an extension. We just take this to this. We're basically measuring the wave 4. And wave 4 and wave 5s typically have a direct relationship with one another. And it's this range here. So we're likely to see Ethereum, we're almost there already, around $1,230 to around $1,250, thereabouts. Could overextend. And now let's just confirm that with an extension. What we're going to do here is we're going to measure wave 1 to 3. And so what we're actually doing is we're measuring how did people feel not that long ago? How strong was the buying behavior? How strong was the selling behavior? And what's likely to occur next based on that? So it's the applied market psychology. And the three ratios here we're looking for is 38, 62, and 100%. And ideally what we want to see is a cluster. So we see these two price ranges now. We see this zone over here, and we see this zone up here. And what happens more often than not is if one price zone gets exceeded, it will typically move to the next. So we want to be on high alert with these price zones. There is one just above if it overextends, which is up here, but that's not relevant right now. We can just keep it as so. So what we're going to do is just look for when this gets confirmed. There'll be a couple of ways of confirming. The ultimate confirmation will be that this wave 4 low gets exceeded on the downside. And then more often than not, what you'll find is that the market will tend to do some type of A, B, C correction. And once it's in this particular price range and time range, it might be a good long opportunity as long as the daily momentum is bullish. But right now, it's not bullish. So there you have it. So the Ethereum emergency update is just be on high alert of the $1,250 mark, this range. Especially that this looks like it's breaking down to a 5-wave structure in itself. So we can kind of break that down a bit more. And then again, just more than likely, typical after a 5-wave move to the upside is some type of ABC correction as a minimum on the downside. So there you have it. So let's look at this one more time. Take advantage of it. People ask me, this is my 15 years of experience trading put into these courses. So what we covered today was the Elliott wave and the Fibonacci price. That's the core fundamentals, and I really break down the foundation, the intermediate, and the advanced. So take advantage of it. It's 50% off, or further 50% off, and the code is BF2022. So when you click on it, do that, and it will just take you to the next page, and you'll be able to get it. So if you like today's video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Let's finish on a quote. Let's go with, from my book, let's go with chapter 3. Chapter 3 today is Confucius. It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. Everything in life is difficult before it's easy. You've heard me say that before, and you hear me say it a million other times, because sometimes repetition is the mother of skill. It's just embedding that in our minds. So it's all about just learning this one step at a time. And we covered some detailed stuff, right? 2 degrees of wave counts. That's pattern position. We covered momentum. I've got that dashboard that's launching next week. So be aware of that. That's going to make your life a lot easier to identify the trend and what you should be doing based on the trend, because the trend is your friend. Ride it until its end, until it reaches its bend. But the dashboard makes it easy to see what the trend actually is. Because what I found is there's thousands of indicators, even when just using the one stochastics RSI, which is my favorite. When you're looking at multiple degrees of trends and time frames, it can be a bit confusing. So the dashboard is designed to just really simplify your life as well. So check out Ethereum. We will see what's going to happen, but be aware of that 1250 mark. It's highly probable that we're going to get some type of pullback, and then we'll reevaluate and look for a long trade setup over the coming days and weeks.